You're in for another great episode of the podcast, but first, do me a favor and click that subscribe button below, and let's dive in. My friend Laura Long is back on the show. Laura Long is a licensed something or other from some part of the U.S. I can never remember if she's a Southern Belle or a Northern badass, a Northern road rager. She's no, you can't talk yet. She's an MFT, pre-licensed, therapy student of life, student of the John Clarke brand. And she just got a new microphone. Founder of yourbadass.therapypractice.com.
Couldn't have done it better myself.
I just want everyone to know and be on record. I'm making it an effort to introduce people professionally. And I was like, right before we started, I was like, Laura, how should I introduce you? And she was like, I just want to see what you come up with. And you said it in a way like you knew I was going to struggle, like, and that you would take delight in my struggle.
That's basically what our friendship is
taking
founded
delight
on.
In my struggle.
Each other's struggle and just like giving each other shit all the time.
That'd be a good spin for a therapist, like the unhelpful therapist who the clients show up and the therapist just delights in their continued suffering.
Oh my God.
Like, this seems so hard for you.
That could be really funny if they do a good job maybe picking problems that aren't so severe. And a therapist who's extremely bad. Mm-hmm. Is anything in the middle? It's too close to real life sometimes.
It gets too real too fast. So this is my friend Laura Long, yourbadass.therapypractice.com, among other
I'm an L
ventures.
something.
Yep. Aren't we all? And I haven't seen you in a while, so I'm going to be honest. I've missed you, and it's vulnerable for me to say that, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. So
kind of warming up my icy cold heart. Thanks, John. I miss you too. I'm actually getting over a cold, so I have no idea how this sounds. But
it actually sounds good. I think your fancy microphone is covering up your congestion.
If we did this interview like 3 days ago, I would sound like a 70-year-old smoker from New York.
Yeah,
it would have been a much different podcast episode.
I feel like that would fit your personality.
John.
Yeah.
John, I don't even know what I'm doing right now.
Pack the car. That's always Boston to me.
Yeah, it's Boston.
That's the only
New
thing
York
I know
is
how
like
to say in a Boston accent.
No, you gotta really go there, John. The fuck you doing? Like, that is what I sounded like 3 days ago, which is also funny. It's the same voice as my internal, I call her Bitchy Brenda. She's like, everyone has one. It's like, the voice that tells you you're a piece of shit. Like, you're never going to amount to anything.
Oh, I thought it was that's bitchy to other people. Is that a different alter ego?
Probably. This is all internal. Okay, let me do an impression of my Bitchy Brenda. Yeah. I keep wanting to touch this mic.
Yeah, can you actually not touch it? Just because you have a nice mic doesn't mean you should touch it all the time. It's actually the opposite.
Please don't fondle your mic, Laura.
You should hover around it and respect it, but don't get too close, because then we're going to have to edit all of this out.
Sorry. So,
anyway,
okay.
Go ahead.
I'm doing an impression of my Bitchy Brenda, which is what I sounded like a few days ago. So everyone has one. Why are you looking at me like I'm weird?
No,
okay, you've got one too. So Bitchy Brenda's like, Laura, you're a fucking piece of shit, and everyone's going to find out. You're a fraud. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Fraud. And everyone's going to know.
They're going to find out.
Just smoking on a cigarette. It's a Virginia Slim.
She's
on a
vaping.
long one. Like
2018, she's vaping.
No, she's like 100.
She's jeweling, or whatever it's called.
So your Bitchy Brenda may sound different, but the message is the same, right? It's like, John, this fucking podcast, no one listens to it.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you even record this?
Yeah.
Like, this is just shit.
Yeah.
Like, you should just quit everything that you've ever done.
Yeah, yeah.
So, there you go. That's what I sounded like a few days ago.
And when you're sick, like being sick really spurs all the negative thoughts and all the bitchy Brendas or whatever you call it. You really feel
Bitchy Brenda. She's a real wolf in my head.
she's real.
It's real.
Um, yeah, I understand that. And so, one of my favorite things to do, and my wife got sick of this real fast, is we'll be like on a road trip or something, and I'll be bored, and I've always wanted to get into acting, and or improv. I've taken like some classes, but I'm like, give me a character. We'll be driving down the road, but just give me a character. I'm just gonna do it. Just anything. It was like,
I want you to do Peppa Pig.
I can't do animals.
You don't have a kid. You don't know what that is.
No, I can't do a stuffed animal. And so she'll just give me a character, and I'll just do it for like the next 20 minutes. Well, usually I stay in character for way too long, right? Because I'm like end up trying to go deeper with it, and then I almost like don't want to, get out of character. And she gets sick of it so immediately. So now it will be driving a bit. All right, pitch me one, throw me one, give me a character, and she'll just go, no.
I'm not doing that, John.
I'm not
No.
doing that. I mean, if you don't give me one, I'm gonna make one up. And so I'll make
And
one
then
up.
you just take the character down this 20-minute road.
Yeah.
I picture you going into a pretty dark existential place with them internally.
You know me too well.
Well, since we haven't seen each other in a while,
Mm-hmm.
the last time we spoke was actually face to face.
Yeah. What was that like for you?
You're a real person.
I thought you were gonna say a real blank person.
Oh,
Something. Usually
we
tall
all can be.
person. Yeah.
That was what I was gonna say. That surprised me.
You're actually a
You
little
were
shorter than I
really-
imagined.
You're really fucking tall. You walked in and I was like, good God.
You have like a tall personality. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm bite sized in real life.
Yeah. You like snuck up from under a table or something too. Like you kind of came out of nowhere.
I was eating peanuts up off the floor.
Yeah, yeah. And then you just popped up and
Hey, John.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you're
startled
very
me.
tall.
Yeah, it's okay for people to talk about how, and my dog is snoring. Right on. Can you hear her?
I hear a dog barking, I thought.
She's doing
Not
that
snoring.
like inward whimper when she's
Aw.
dreaming. It's okay
Sweet.
for people to like comment sometimes in an outrageous way about how tall someone is, but I don't feel like it's okay for me to comment on how short people are.
It's
'Cause
not.
They take offense to it. What's up with that? Why does it?
I don't know. Short. You're insignificant.
Right.
You don't matter.
Yeah.
I can't see you.
Right. Well, now and everyone's jealous of tall people. They're like, dude, you're so lucky. Can you dunk?
I knew that was coming.
Doesn't matter who you are. Like, even if you even like sports, it's like, dude, can you dunk? I bet you can dunk, bro. It's like, well,
And what
I
if
have a
you
personality
can?
too, but
If you can, like, what does that even? Yeah, dude, I can
it
dunk.
means you win at life. Yeah, it means you're. Yeah, I mean, dunking is awesome.
I wouldn't know. I'm short.
Yeah, I know.
Oh God.
You could dunk at like the preschool. Well, those of you who've heard Laura come on the show before know that there's a high degree of irreverence and a small degree of real talk, practice talk.
Yeah.
No, not really, but it is fun to just talk about nothing for a while before we talk about something.
Little do you guys know, I've already implanted some like real shit into your brains. That whole bitchy Brenda thing, she's real.
So let's talk about that, because I've been quite into mindset stuff recently,
Mm-hmm.
which is really funny to say as a freaking therapist. Like, yeah, I'm really into the mind all of a sudden. It's like, dude, what have you been doing this whole time?
Dude, there's this thing called psychology. It's so
Yeah,
weird. Like
I'm
how we
deep in it
think
right now.
actually influences the way we interact with other
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Like what the?
Yeah. And
Woo!
we can like choose our thoughts and stuff, and then we make more money when we.
Yeah, mindset can be tricky though for me because I'm the kind of coach who wants to help you get shit done.
Mhm.
And so I'm all about strategy and like do it this way. And I just come to the table assuming we're all therapists, so we've already done the work. Like we have the right mindset. So now let me give you the tools. And obviously I've learned it's not always that simple. So, but talking about mindset is a little bit tricky because it's like, just manifest that shit.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah,
Just
just
do
have a
it.
vision
Just like
board.
think positive and, unleash your inner badass, and then it all just comes to fruition. But no, there's perfectionism and overwhelm and bitchy Brenda and imposter syndrome, which is also bitchy Brenda.
So
and she follows us around.
Here's one thing I've realized is that in my mind is almost always in the marketing realm, or thinking like, trying to help therapists get more clients and solve that problem. And
fill the empty spots on your calendar.
That's right.
I know
so
it.
You know you have good branding when your friends know your tagline.
I actually have a tattoo on my inner thigh of that statement.
yeah, same. So I just lost my train of thought. Why'd you have to do that?
Always my goal. Continue.
And so, welcome to the show.
We're talking about you're trying to help client or therapists.
Yeah, get more people on the phone. But then there's this piece of, even if I get 10 people on the phone with you this week, can you sell them? And do you believe in what you're offering? And do you believe it's worth X amount of dollars? And that is a question that I wish I had started to address in like a more holistic approach to helping therapists with their marketing. Yep. You know what I mean? And so that part has been huge for me lately, and really helping therapists. I hate that I'm going to use this word, unpack that. Like a Christmas
You're
present.
Such a fucking therapist right now. Let's unpack that.
I also like talk shit on cliches
back
constantly, and especially on this show, I like try really hard not to use them, and then I just use a big one. We're gonna unpack that into this space.
Yeah, we're gonna lift the veil on this.
yeah.
That's my like favorite one that I hate.
Yeah.
We're gonna lift the veil. We're gonna demystify this whole thing for you. Let's unpack it. Let's unravel it. Let's unpeel it like an onion. Let's go.
What's it like for you to be in this space of unpacking? And so, I mean, there's just something behind that, right, for therapists. And recently on the show, we had some doing like listener questions, and one of the questions was like, actually, I want to get your take on this. I was talking to another therapist in my community about my fee, and then now I feel really self-conscious about my fee. What should I do? Or the question was, should I base my fee on how many years I've been a therapist? And I had never really thought of it that way. I think that's a too simplistic way of thinking about it, and being like, oh, you can only charge X if you've been in the field for 7 years, or if you've are an EMDR specialist or not, or did the whole certification. That, to me, that just seems so silly and like oppressive of one another in our industry. So I've been talking a lot about that on the show, but I want to get your take on that. And like, another therapist is going, well, how you can't charge more? I've been in the industry longer than you, and I'm only charging X.
So this is actually a pretty fun segue, because I have a new YouTube channel coming out, John, and my very first video is on this topic.
Welcome.
Boom. It's like, this is some like woo-woo universe shit. So yeah, I agree with you. It's a very simplistic way of thinking about fee setting. I think that years of experience, asterisk, can I put an asterisk here? Years of experience can help influence what your fee is. But that is not at all the only factor. And I need to find this study, but
just make it up. Just make it up.
I'll just make up numbers. No, years of experience in the psychotherapy field do not equate to better or more effective.
Correct. No,
work.
That's real.
So,
yeah, that's real.
However, as far as many of our clients are concerned, that is important to them sometimes.
In terms of perception, sure.
Yes, perception.
And we also know a lot of therapeutic outcome has to do with the relationship, regardless of therapeutic orientation, and the client's belief that this is going to help me.
Yeah. And that's so weird.
Well, so how do we set the stage for clients to believe we're going to help them? We communicate value in a number of ways, in part through our messaging. How do we
Hmm.
describe what we do and the results that we help clients achieve, and also through our fees.
Yes. Yeah, because value and fees are intertwined and work on each other. So the more I value something, obviously the more I'm willing to spend on the thing.
Hmm.
And when I spend
And the
more
other way
on
around.
something,
Right.
I'm also more likely to value
I
it.
value it more.
Case in point, uh, I did a video on this recently, but I have been wanting to get my ass back in shape. And I was looking at all these different gyms and how much everything costs and what's
Hmm.
included, yada, yada. And so the place I ended up going with actually costs a whole lot more than I was willing to spend. And what I've learned is that by dishing out all of this extra money every month, I'm actually going.
Yeah, you value it more. Hmm.
Yeah. So it's not that I was like, oh, I'm super pumped to spend this much money on a gym. It's, gosh, I really don't want to spend this much money. However, I believe that if I spend this much money, I'm actually going to get results. And because of my belief around that, now
Hmm.
I'm going, which means what? I'm going to see results.
Correct.
It's boom.
It's the same.
So,
Yep.
okay. So the whole fee value conversation, let's unpack that.
Let's unpack that. So
Um,
I do think, I mean, when we think about mindset, fees, becomes part of the conversation pretty quickly. Um, but I also think there is something to be said about therapists that, yeah, believe in the product that they're selling, believe in their therapy. And also, do you believe you're going to be successful in this business or not? Because we can, you know what I mean? You can have all the help in the world and you can do all the courses and work with all the consultants, you know what I mean? And do all the clinical trainings. You can be overly prepared clinically and still have a failing practice. And I am always wondering, like, why is that? Why can some people just not get out of their own way?
hmm. I'm trying so hard not to quote Seth Godin here.
Just do it. Most people don't
'Cause
even know who he is.
I
Most people
just
listening don't
like
know who he is. So,
just the walking billboard for all things Seth Godin. And he has this brand new book out called This is Marketing, and it talks all about this. So, okay, your question, why do therapists who have all these trainings and certifications and all that, why do their practices still fail? Well, first and foremost, you can have all these trainings and still not know how to do your job. I mean, just sitting in a room for 4 days doing a training or even recording yourself doing therapy and getting supervision doesn't necessarily make you a good therapist. Um,
right.
do you believe that there are certain people who are just like natural at this and
Yes.
certain people who
Yes.
are on the other end, like they do all the training and still
Yes.
don't know how to connect with people? Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah, and part of that question is, can you teach empathy? Can empathy actually be taught? Because when I entered my graduate program, they sat us down. They said, "Listen, you all already have the attributes needed to be successful in this work. You're here to learn how to do this work, right? How to operate as a therapist. But you've been allowed into this program because we think you have the stuff.
The good
You
stuff.
got the goods."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and some programs will not act as gatekeepers
Right.
like I think they should. So they will still allow people to enter the field who maybe are lacking some of these more vital
Correct.
components.
Correct.
I think empathy is taught. I just think it's taught at a young age. So if you're already entering grad school and you don't have it, I don't know if that's something that can be taught at that point. Then
Well,
you
here.
just go become an engineer or something.
Yeah. You know one of those, don't you? Um,
Yeah, a little bit.
so here's the thing about empathy is, um, it can be taught, or you can teach someone to sit down and they go, okay, when Laura cries, you change your face to go, and you kind of mirror her, you kind of mimic her,
Give
right?
it.
But
Yeah.
true empathy and accurate empathy is when I see Laura is sad, I also feel some degree of that sadness. So it's, can you teach that part?
Hmm.
Go.
Oh. No, I don't think so.
Right.
So empathy, according to Seth in his new book, and now myself, empathy is also a vital part of being a good marketer.
Has to be.
I think that's where you're getting at.
Yeah,
You
you
have
have
to
to
feel
resonate with people.
empathy. Yeah, you have to feel empathy for the people who are in struggle looking for you.
This is
And
why,
so,
yeah, this is why therapists make the best marketers. If we can get out of our own heads and stop believing, oh, I'm not good at marketing, I'm not good at websites or Google, I don't know WordPress, all that is irrelevant.
hmm I try to change the word sell, like you need to sell yourself. I try to replace the word sell with connect.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same thing. You sell yourself through connecting,
Mm-hmm.
and you connect through having empathy for the person that you're trying to connect with. So
Mm-hmm.
it actually is really simple. Maybe not so easy, but it should, I think, for therapists be really easy. This is something we do all the damn time
I know.
anyway.
We just can't do it for ourselves, and we can't do it under the pressure of building a practice and all the pressures we put on ourselves and on the business to grow and all the moving parts. And so good
Mhm.
marketing is really about creating a message that speaks to the pain of people. And it's also about in as therapists, we understand, we study how people change, how people take action, what motivates them to take action. Guess what? Guess what marketing is? Guess what a call to action button on your website is, a good message is? It's compelling people to take an action,
Mhm.
to get on the phone with you, to fill out your contact form. So you have so many skills that you already need. It's just we also don't know how to describe what we do. We confuse people by describing the parts and features and specifications of what we do and our fanciness and our credentials and whatever. And that doesn't resonate with anyone, at least not as your first conversation with clients, so to speak, through your marketing collateral.
Now I know why you look so tall. You're on that damn soapbox again.
You know it. You know I'm on that. Just get
You're
super
like,
amped all of a
boom.
sudden. Yeah. Let's go
I
ahead
know
and
you
cut
got.
this
I mean, I'm
episode
just.
right here. Ship it.
Yeah, I should have made popcorn for this one. This is good watching you. See how therapists get stuck on the language of I do EMDR.
Yes.
I am a registered play therapist. I do emotionally focused therapy. Most of your clients don't really care about that. They just want to know, are they going to be able to sleep again? Is little
They want
Johnny going to
results.
be able to, yeah,
Hmm.
not get kicked out of his fifth daycare? Am I going to wake up feeling like I'm connected and not living with a roommate who's
There it
supposed to be my
is.
spouse? Like that's what they care about. And you have to have empathy for these people to know that.
That
And I
was
think
good
we're
copy
really,
right there, dude. My goodness. I got chills on that.
what
I don't even have a preschooler and I got chills. Like, oh, what if I did?
about little Johnny? To take care of him. He must have some unresolved trauma.
Yeah.
Um, Now you made me lose my train of thought,
I
John.
know.
Thanks.
Whatever.
So I think that we're really capable of having empathy for our ideal clients because, ding, 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 your ideal client is kind of you.
Whoa. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Seth Godin tell you
So,
that too?
nope. That came from here, baby. I don't got much
Nice. Right
there.
on. Okay,
Don't have
you're
much.
truly gonna have to hashtag unpack that.
Yeah. So think, so, okay. Think, who is my ideal client? Who are the clients that I love seeing so much? I
Hmm.
look at them on my calendar and I'm like, yes, Martha's coming today. I don't know. Whoever that client is, you see a piece of yourself in them. So we're all just little narcissists running around. There's something about your ideal client that speaks to you. It's not random.
Well, yeah, that's a good point because that's part of how we're able to connect with them is because we have some part of that, their experience in us, and we
Yeah.
create resonance through that. So, but then what about clients where we can't share their experience, or if I'm working with a mother?
hmm Or like another great example is those who work in the substance abuse field, but don't
But I've
actually
never
have a
been had
history
an
of that.
addiction. Yeah.
Yeah. What I find is that there's still a connection somewhere, even if you weren't the one, like you're not a mother, you had a mother or a mother figure.
Boom.
You've had maternal figures in your life. So if you're sitting in front of a mom and that mom is your ideal client, there's something about that mom that connects with you, even if you yourself are not a mom, just like the one who works with alcoholics, that's like the
Mm-hmm.
common example. Well, what if I was never an alcoholic? How can I help them? Well, why does working with alcoholics, why does that give you some sense of purpose and meaning, even if
Yeah.
you never struggled with alcoholism? Maybe someone in your life did who was close to you. And so that's why this work is so important. So yeah, you
Well,
have empathy for these people because you
yeah.
see a piece of yourself in them, a piece of your
Mm.
journey in their story. So you can connect with them on that.
The way that the alcoholic example was described to me, I was a young, eager graduate student shadowing a substance use like group, and I think I asked the guy, are you an alcoholic or something? Hopefully, I said it in
Yeah, I
a
sure
more
hope you
subtle
didn't
way.
ask that.
Are you an alcoholic?
Or-
I need to know for my paper. I need it for my notes. And he was like, and he was like, no, I'm not. I've never struggled with addiction. I don't know what it's like. And he says what he would tell his clients and the folks in that group was, I don't know what it's like to live a life with an addiction. I know how to live a sober life. And that's what people are here for.
I like that.
I don't know. It worked for him. He'd been doing it for like 30 years, and he
Yeah.
was like one of the best.
But see, I don't have to actually know what it's like for you. So I work with a lot of couples who are dealing with infidelity. Like I can say that's not a problem. It's never been a problem for me. So why do I love working with couples who struggle with infidelity? I love seeing couples heal from infidelity.
Right. It's about
'Cause,
repairing the connection. And it's about
yeah.
connection.
So for me, watching a couple repair from, oh, we're just fighting a lot. Like I still like that. I enjoy doing that. It's just the couples where they're going from, I don't think we can make it through this to our relationship is better than it's ever been. Like that gives me,
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's like a freaking high.
That's awesome.
Um, so yeah, I can connect with them on the fact that this is really hard, but I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly what it feels like because I've seen it enough times to know that I do not know what that feels like.
Mm-hmm.
But I can still sit with them in the shit pile they're in, right? And I can still
Right.
do my very best.
Right.
So empathy doesn't mean that you actually know what it feels like. It just means you're willing to sit in the shit.
Correct.
Add that one to your thumbnail.
My quote sheet.
Yeah.
Sitting in shit with Laura Long. Episode 98. Episode 100.
Put that in the show notes, baby.
I think iTunes will immediately block us.
Probably. Yeah. I'm going to drink this smoothie really quick
Okay, you're just going to...
away from the camera.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and narrate what the hell's happening on my podcast. This is how you know you're a comfortable guest on the show, or what I would consider too comfortable. When this is like the equivalent of putting your feet on my desk if I had like a talk show, which is obviously my dream. I've talked about it a lot recently. And you like come and just throw your feet with no shoe, like your feet up on my desk. Laura just drank part of a smoothie.
A massive
Are you an
smoothie.
adult or no? Okay. She drank it out of what I'm pretty sure is the actual blender.
It looks huge.
That's
it
a
is
blender.
big.
It has the attachment at the bottom. Don't even tell me it's one of those cute little NutriBullets. You're like, it's small.
It is. It is, but
It's a 5 ounce. That's enormous, and I'm offended. You don't even know what to say.
This is me just being my authentic self, John Clarke.
This is you not having clean cups in the kitchen or something. This is you like being unprepared for life, but playing it off like, whatever, bro. I always drink out of blenders. Like,
After this, I'm going to take a picture of the top of it because
I'm not going to.
You're supposed to be able to carry this around.
It's
enormous.
You're the one that just drank out of a blender on a podcast and tried to do it to the side. Tried to like get out of frame, even though people can clearly see it's a blender. But yeah, no. Otherwise,
Guys, you people on the YouTubes.
okay.
If
you need 2 hands for it, it's not a cup.
I'm in the South.
You're like,
that's a small.
You're like, it's like a Monster Energy drink. It's like a Yeti, like the triple size Yeti.
Oh, jangles.
Yeah.
This is a small.
North Carolina is sponsored by Bojangles. They're in cahoots. That's the first
Are
thing I
they?
thought when I moved here. I was like, the city of Charlotte has like some backdoor endorsement with Bojangles. It's like the food of the people.
There's a hysterical YouTube video of this guy talking about this small little town near me
Yeah.
called
Greer?
um,
You just cut out. Yeah, yeah, I've driven through there.
Greer. He
Yeah.
calls it Gur, and he
Okay,
talks
makes sense.
about when a Bojangles is across the street from another Bojangles, two
Yeah.
Jangs,
Yeah, yeah.
two Jangs, and a bucket of sweet tea is their mixers for our drinks.
Well, the one on the left is different from the one on the right. No, I'm just joking.
The
There's like two
Jangs.
Bojangles. Yeah, people that don't live in the South or haven't been don't know what the hell we're talking about. But
It's
it's
fine. In-N-Out Burger, same idea. We don't have
yeah, yeah, something
Yeah.
delicious that is certainly killing you.
I leave it at that.
And you hate to love it. So
Ideal client.
ideal client.
I don't know how we got here.
Where
I'm
would
happy.
your ideal client be having lunch? Bojangles.
Possibly.
Yeah, so we went from mindset to ideal client. Because I guess part of it is, yeah, if you're going to sell anything, you need to know you need to know your audience. You need to know what motivates them. You need to know what they want, and then you need to be able to help basically sell them on the results you can help them get, because that's ultimately what they're shopping for. They're actually not shopping for
John,
you.
isn't that slimy and manipulative?
It can be if you're a slimy person, you know.
That's how I turn it back on them. Well, are you
Right.
slimy?
Are you slimy? No, but and actually, the fear of being slimy makes you so much less likely to be slimy. That's the other thing for therapists that have that fear of being too salesy. People that are too salesy, they don't care about being too salesy, and they don't even know what they are. That's why they're too salesy. Or like, it's like the fact that you're so worried about that makes you really unlikely to be that. You know what I mean? It's like people who are really so tentative and afraid of, like, I don't know, upsetting someone or coming across as a know-it-all are probably less likely to come across as a know-it-all because they're so focused on not being that.
Mhm. Agreed. I think if you have a certain skill set to help somebody who's in pain, and you know who that person is that you want to help, and you don't connect with them,
Yeah.
quote, sell them, if you don't get them to a place where they're motivated to call you, then you are being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think, because you actually have the ability to help someone who's in pain, and you're not doing it because your own shit's getting in the way.
Nailed it. That's how I honestly see it. I'm through marketing and sales and all this crap that therapists hate. I'm facilitating people getting the help that they need. That's the other thing, is like a lot of people, I've had to explain this a couple times lately. I don't love marketing. I don't love digital marketing. I don't love SEO, Google Ads, websites, all this stuff. I've learned it because I like helping people connect with people that can help them.
Mm-hmm.
I like what it does for us.
You're the connector. You're like Cupid.
Darn tootin'. And so to me, that's what it is. And that's what marketing is. That's why I've like learned this and basically built my life around it at this point and built my work around it, is because I think we need a lot of help in this area. And I like what it does for therapists. And I like that's what I think about, like, when I wake up in the morning, or what like drives me is like therapists are helping more people because their marketing is better.
Oh my gosh, it gives me the biggest lady boner
I mean, what?
when someone in my group, we do something called Winning Fridays. #winning. So every Friday, people post, like, what is the small or big win that you had this week?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's multiple, which is awesome. But when people post in that group and they say on the Winning Fridays post, they're like, I had 3 sessions with an ideal client, or I graduated a client this week, and it was so awesome to see their journey. Like, all this cheesy stuff, when
Yep.
I get to see that, I'm like, yes, this is why we do that.
Well, there you go. And that's why you have taken the plunge to help therapists.
Yeah, because the more I help them, the more these other people get what they need.
Yeah.
Because I can't do what all these therapists do. They're
Well,
amazing.
and you don't have to, but here's the other thing that I think is fun to talk about is someone or somewhere along the way, I think I've heard the question of like, well, what makes you qualified to help therapists? You know what I mean? Or like, what makes you a business coach? And it's like, well, I learned some things that helped me and I started teaching them. And then I kept building on that learning. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like endlessly looking for more things that will help therapists. And then I'm bringing them to therapists. And I think what I'm saying is I think that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
you've had haters, huh?
well, yeah, you know it. That's what I think really drives you, right? Is you posted something about like being in the grocery store, or so it was some marketing like analogy of like being in the grocery store or being on like a front porch or something. Maybe those are two different ones.
Oh, you mean like the marketing house that I talk about?
No, you
No.
had posted something like a real life example of being in the grocery store. Maybe it was looking at prices of things or something.
Yeah,
But
eggs.
of eggs, yeah. So I saw
Eggs,
that,
man.
and I was like, "We're gonna talk about eggs. Just wait." And I saw that, and I was like, "See, this is why, Laura. Like, you really are in the world, and you're looking for cues and things that'll help therapists."
I see them everywhere now without even trying to look for them specifically. It's just like, bam.
I'm trying to compliment you and like build you up, but it's not. I'm not doing a good job.
You're doing a great job. I feel built up.
Let's talk about eggs.
I'm just so narcissistic that there's not much more
It just
go.
does. Yeah, it just rolls off your back. You're like, I know.
I'm
Yes,
just like,
I know.
yeah,
I'm
cool.
amazing.
I already know I'm awesome.
Continue.
No, thank you. Yes, well, I think you probably do that too. You can't help yourself. It's like you walk
Yeah,
around and you're like,
correct.
it's really good. Yeah, because you've taken pictures of like moving vans or something where it's like,
Hashtag
this
questionable
is
branding.
not,
Mhm.
this is not good branding, guys.
Mhm.
That's helped me because sometimes I'll be driving around, I'll be like, that's really good how they worded that, or that's really shitty.
Yeah.
Like if you own a mobile car detailing company, like your car probably should also be clean.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hashtag questionable branding.
Yep. So you do that too. Once you start focusing on these things, you see them everywhere.
Correct.
This is also, weirdly enough, did you watch my first YouTube video that I didn't launch yet? Because I talk about eggs.
That you didn't launch yet. Well, how would I watch it if you haven't launched it?
No, I feel like there's like creepy Big Brother shit happening. Because I talk about,
What?
like people who spend $8 on these fancy eggs, each egg gets its own birth certificate and
Oh
it's
yeah.
got a name. They value that, so they're willing and happy to pay for it. And then by
So
doing it, they feel better about themselves.
got it. Got it.
Maybe they feel like they're helping the little chickies
So
by eating their young.
okay, right, yeah, there is nowhere to go with that one. So the parallel for therapists is
This is where I took a
yeah, I know. I was hoping you'd bring that home and I wouldn't have
Okay.
to, but
So no, here's where we come back around. So clients aren't looking for you because they want EFT or EMDR. Maybe someone was in their ear and said, "Yeah, you really need EMDR. You really need, play therapist for little Johnny." Like, but really, they're not looking for that. They're looking to feel connected again. They're looking to have some sort of relief. So if you can find out, which you should with your empathy, be able to know what is the relief they're searching for and connect with them on that, then all this other stuff falls away because it doesn't really matter. I think it was, again, my boy Seth, his most recent book, This is Marketing. I'm like, I should get paid for plugging his stuff.
Mhm.
But he tells a story about there's like,
That's called affiliate
a
marketing.
drill bit if you're trying to, yeah, I don't do that. But if you're trying to sell like a drill bit or something and it can make a certain size hole and then you can hang something, like people aren't buying it because they want to hang something. Sounds like they do, but no, they want to feel like they can do it themselves, like maybe a stay-at-home mom wants to feel handy and independent and look, I can be respected, right? So you're
Yeah.
selling respect, you're selling independence or confidence. You're not really selling the fact that this
Right.
one thing can do this thing.
Right.
So I'm not selling, like, I keep going to EMDR. I'm just, for whatever reason, it's
Yeah.
off on
I
the
use
top
that
of
one
my
a
head.
lot
But
too for some reason.
yeah. But like, CBT, you're not selling CBT so that someone can have a
No.
better understanding of the way their thoughts influence their feelings. Like, they don't give a shit about that.
This is,
Like, they want to
yeah.
not have panic attacks anymore.
This is so on point. I'm writing down the title of this episode because sometimes I just get inspired. Going back to the drill bit example, to take it even further, people are not buying, they're not motivated to buy the drill bit. People are buying a future. And so that future is, I need this drill bit so I can hang this picture so that my home looks better, so that I feel
beautiful.
better about my home because it's beautiful. People are buying a future. And when your marketing reflects that, people buy like crazy.
And when you can connect with them on the pain that they're experiencing today and also show them that you understand what they want their future to
That
look
things can
like.
get better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the perfect chemistry of a marketing message.
Yeah, people
So
don't care
sell
that you
drill bits.
provide. Yeah, don't sell a compassionate, non-judgmental, supportive, person-centered
Yeah.
experience because they're not looking for that.
Well, in people, I heard this the other day. It was like, when people buy a home, if you have a custom home built for yourself, which I really want to do someday, or build my own home, if you're buying a home, you're not buying the 2x4s and the plumbing and the pipes in the walls and the electrical wires. You're buying the home and you're buying the experience of living in that home. What therapists, I think, try to do is we try to sell the raw materials of what we have to offer. The raw materials are the EMDR or the credentials or the license or the whatever, all the different
Years of experience.
Right. Years of 7 years. That's one of my favorite opening lines of a website. It's like, land on the website. I have 16 years of experience and I specialize in individual therapy for individuals.
And I provide a safe, non-judgmental environment for you to process and unpack and explore.
One collaborative approach.
Like, are these case notes? What is this?
Yeah. It's
like all the interventions.
It's like the paper you had to write when you in graduate school, and they go, tell us your orientation, and you go, my name is John Clarke. I do individual therapy using CBT with also some psychodynamics and recently I started doing mindfulness.
Pass.
Call now. People literally just copy and paste that. It's like your statement of something or other. You have to submit that for licensure in some states. I remember how to do that. It was like your professional statement of like what makes you qualified or whatever.
Professional disclosure statement.
Yeah,
what
there
makes
it
you
is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just copy and paste, put that as their Psychology Today profile, and then they copy and paste that and put it on their homepage.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
And then they're like, I think that's my elevator pitch. I think that's the one.
I got it.
So here's the cool thing is I feel like even since I've known you, which feels like a lifetime, but as
you asked. I still remember our first
a long
Skype
and painful lifetime. I'm just kidding. A long, slow, painful. No, I'm joking.
I'm not going anywhere. You're my online boyfriend forever.
So what was I saying? This is why we can't make jokes on this show ever. What was I talking? Oh, so even since I've known you, like there's realizations that are happening, I think, in the industry that are in general for the better. Fees being a big conversation and one that I like to get #lit about, and advancing the value that we place on our services, which therefore advances the value of mental health in our culture. That's one. Another one, even going back to the Psychology Today thing, like with this was something you had just launched when you and I became BFF, and was the Psychology Today, whatever you call it.
From bad to badass.
From bad to badass. And going basically, hey therapist, your Psychology Today profile sucks. How's it working for you? Oh, it's not. It's not converting.
So bad.
And you get really mad because no one's calling. And
here's my Psychology Today Hall of Shame.
Right. And so you
second edition coming in 2019.
Well, there you go. You went, that's a problem. Here's how to do it better. And all these people are like, talking about the results they're getting from that because they just simply didn't know how to fill it out. Or that, when Psychology Today and the little prompt goes, tell us about yourself. They go, oh, okay. Tell you about myself. Yeah. Okay. Well, I got straight A's when I was in middle school and grew up in the Pacific Northwest. And it's like, who cares?
Yeah. It's actually not y'all's fault. It's Psychology Today's fault for giving you the worst prompts ever. Ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just rolling in dough down in Bermuda or wherever because, they have those international fees if you have a Psych Today profile. So I guess this
is why you should sign up for therapyden.com. Jeff Gunther.
Hashtag plug.
Hashtag plug. Hashtag therapy.
Yeah. So don't listen to Psychology Today about what to do on your profile, and don't take cues from other bad marketers in other industries on what you should have on your website.
Right. Or other therapists whose marketing isn't working, and just looking left and looking right and going, well, the person in my office suite, they filled out their profile this way, or their website says this, or their fees are this, so I should just fall in line. It's a great way to suck.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice surefire way right there. Cool.
Cool. Let me check my calendar. Make sure that make sure I don't have anything more important to do.
You ass. I always look at my phone's got bang bang bang.
Oh my gosh, so many notifications.
Putting it away.
Feel super special.
I don't even know what any of that is.
You're like, it must be hard being popular though. In all seriousness.
Are we still recording? Because I can talk all about that.
Not only did you drink a smoothie on the show, but you just checked your phone. Are you trying to do all the things to offend me and my beautiful community?
You literally just told me you had more important things to do after this. I don't really know if you can any more below the belt.
That was more just banter, It's just the kind of back
okay,
and
yeah,
forth.
we'll call it banter.
It doesn't mean drink smoothies and Instagram during the show. Check your Instagram.
Oh my God.
So,
anything on your calendar? We good?
We're good, but I'm exhausted. No, I'm just joking.
But this was just hellacious.
It was a good one. Anything else you want to say to take us home? No pressure. I feel
like this is do you want me to start singing an encore?
Yeah, I want you to sing Country
Take Us
Roads.
Home.
Yeah.
I'll sing something else because I don't know that song. What? I'm actually a really good singer, and I think you are too. Aren't you a musician?
I'm a drummer.
My God, can we start a band?
Oh, definitely. With all of our free time in our long distance relationship. We're rehearsing on Skype. There's a slight lag, and I'm like, damn it, Laura. You missed the verse again. And you're like, I could only hear the chorus.
Oh God. Well, we talked about a lot of stuff in this one. This might be one of those episodes you gotta listen to a couple of times to really milk all the juices out of it. Right.
Well, the show notes are going to be a chaotic mess. I'll tell you that much. I'm not looking forward to that.
just a clusterfuck. So by the time this airs, my new YouTube channel will be officially public.
Let's tell people how they can get there. Do you have
That's a really good question.
Do you have a pretty link? How about this? Set up a pretty link for it through your WordPress site. So
there you go.
yourbadasstherapypractice.com /
trademark. It's officially trademarked.
/ what? You're going to set up a link after this.
Okay. YouTube's. Can it be plural?
With an S?
Can it? Just for funsies?
I mean, you're creating the
/
link.
YouTubes.
It's all you. Okay. yourbadasstherapypractice.com / YouTubes.
I think if there's a funny Dave Barnes video where he sings like all these Christmas songs and he talks about like the MySpaces and the YouTubes.
Yeah. Love
So
it.
yeah, that's where you'll find it.
Okay, so we're gonna find anything else folks should know about. How can they learn more
Um,
about you
I love
or get in touch?
I love following antics. So follow
Boom,
my antics on Facebook.
boom.
I post all kinds of fun shit. And my flagship program, Your Badass Therapy Practice, is launching again in end of January, beginning of February. So if you can get this shit out by then, that would be most
I think
appreciated.
I can pull some strings.
But
I
yeah,
am in
so we'll be
charge after all.
welcoming.
Hmm.
You are the we say head bitch in charge, but I don't know what you would consider
Oh,
yourself.
that's me. No, that's how I think of myself for
Oh,
sure.
okay, totally.
That's how I have my team regard me. So my email
So
signature. Go ahead.
wow. You're Heyo, right? Aren't you like Heyo at
That's fine. I
Unconditional
have
Media?
like 7 email addresses. That's why you can never get in touch with me. It's pretty
You're
bad.
darting around the system.
Hmm.
So yeah, we'll be welcoming our sixth cohort with open arms
Cool.
and some paddles because it's a bit, got to have a little bit of hazing,
Perfect.
friendly hazing over the
Perfect.
internet. There's no
Virtual.
physical harm
Yep. Makes
ever
sense. Ever.
inflicted,
Yeah. Let's just say
at
that.
least unless it's consensual.
Right.
So yeah, we'll be starting that up in February.
Great. Right around the corner.
Yep, it's happening. All kinds of stuff. It's just like culminating in this beautiful
That's great.
display.
Very, very beautiful and beautifully said.
Thank you.
Laura Long, I should like I should like introduce you again, like on the way out.
Yeah, actually do a better job this time.
Laura Long
I'm waiting.
from yourbadasstherapipractice.com. Badass practice coach. Hit her up.
Boom.
Get that
Do a little
get that
dance.
Bojangles. Get that chicken biscuit.
Jingles with you.
Yourbadasstherapipractice.com. Drink a smoothie on the way out. Just getting that last sip, huh?
Just being super nutrish
Yeah,
right here.
just staying super nourished.
Working on my fitness.
That's right. Laura Long,
Thanks for having me, John.
thanks
As
for being
always.
here. This was a hoot. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Do me a favor, click that subscribe button below and stay tuned for the next video coming up.